at issues of service delivery and the work we've been doing in this respect. Without any waste of time, let me hand over to the Secretary General, Comrade Fikile Bag.
Thank you, Comrade Makengi, our spokesperson, ANC, and comrades on the podium, Comrade Parks, who deals with intervention on local government, and Comrade TK Meza, the Secretary of Gauteng Province, the host province. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, when the African National Congress holds a Siyanqoba Rally on Saturday, May 24 at FNB, it will be the culmination of a vibrant election campaign that has reached every corner of the country. Over the course of the last 3 months, every ANC leader, veteran, volunteer, has been on the ground speaking about their concerns and about the achievements of democracy and about the work that we need to do together to continue to improve the lives of all our people. Our campaign has reached every community, from large cities to small towns, from villages to townships, and from farms to suburbs across all 9 provinces of South Africa. We have been to churches, to mosques and temples, business people, teachers, young people, traditional leaders, the creative sector, and many other organizations. Of this campaign are the volunteers of the ANC, who have worked tirelessly and selflessly to achieve an ANC victory. They have done so without any expectation of reward, but because they committed to transformation of our country. Over the course of the last 3 months, we've seen a clear shift in the mood of the country. People are increasingly expressing their confidence in the ANC under the leadership of President Cyril Ramaphosa to build the economy and create jobs, to improve service delivery, to crack down on corruption, and to unite the people of South Africa. People have welcomed the progress the ANC has made in reaffirming their to continue to lead the transformation. While the support for the ANC has been steadily increasing, while we are confident of a decisive mandate, we know that this election is not won until voting stations close on Wednesday, 29 May. That is why we will be intensifying our campaign over the next few days. As we speak, the entire leadership of the ANC, COSATU, the SACP, and other formations of the broader democratic movement, the leagues of the ANC, the Women's League, the Youth League, the Veterans League, the South African Student Congress, the Congress of South African Students. We have seen them out there engaging different sectors and communities and championing the cause of the ANC decisive victory. The tens of thousands of people who will fill up the FNB Stadium on Saturday for the Siyanqoba Rally will be sending a message of confidence and hope. The symbolic handover of the FNB Stadium will be held on Friday, the 24th of May 2024 at 3 o'clock. Media are requested to converge at the media compound parking area. Media accreditation tax can be collected from Thursday, 23 May 2024 until Friday, 24 May at Hall 10, Nazareth between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. And the official handover of the stadium will be done tomorrow at 3 o'clock to the African National Congress, and the media equally is invited for that important occasion. The first Deputy Secretary General of the ANC will preside together with the spokesperson over the handover tomorrow in terms of the stadium. As part of the build-up to the rally, President Cyril Ramaphosa will be hosting a gathering in Sandton on Friday evening for the ANC Siyanqoba endorsement event, where comrades, dignitaries and guests from various sectors will endorse and pledge their vote for the African National Congress. Since the capacity is limited for the Siyanqoba endorsement event, interested media are requested to submit their names by Thursday at 4 p.m. Given the interest in local government issues, we take this opportunity to reflect on some of the deliberate interventions made in solving the challenges of our communities on the ground. The 55th National Conference and its executive committee established a subcommittee in the form of the Local Government Intervention Task Team. This was primarily driven by the need to focus our attention to the critical challenges faced by municipalities, ranging from governance, financial, institutional, and service delivery issues. 2022, this committee, led by Comrade Pakstau, who's with me here today, visited the country to engage communities on service delivery challenges. To date, several municipalities are stable and are working closely with provincial and national government to address their service delivery and improve the quality of life of Africans. As the ANC, we identified hotspot municipalities. These municipalities are monitored closely. Municipalities struggled to provide through the Local Government Intervention Subcommittee and its service delivery program. We are starting to see the following. The load shedding crisis is under control. Communities have experienced no load for 56 days. When we vote on Wednesday, the 29th, it will be 2 months without load shedding. It will be 2 months, it will be 60 days without load shedding. In Gauteng, we welcome the installation of the 1 MW microgrid for Amarasta informal settlement in Alexander and the 250 megawatt open gas turbines refurbishment. To the people of Johannesburg, waste removal is operating, electricity is restored in affected areas, and there is water in the majority of Johannesburg. In KZN, there is a new pipe installed in Kwanyuswa and Kwangolo's areas, and the development of Lower Umkomazi Dam. The intervention to address the labor and service delivery challenges in eThekwini municipality must be noted. In Limpopo, we welcome the upgrading of Damani Water Treatment Plant from Plant 4, Plant 4, and the construction of booster pump station at Mbahela Bulk Reservoir and the upgrading of Mutale raw water. In the Free State, electricity and water infrastructure has been built in areas such as Maluti-Apofu. The people of the Western Cape are suffering, and we are hard at work to address their issues. Our interventions have restored water in Eisner municipality. The ground, on the ground. 30 years of democracy in local government have resulted in 88.5% of South Africans live in formal dwellings. 94.7% of South Africans have access to electricity, and 82.4% of South Africans have piped water. 70.83% of South Africans receive sanitation services from municipalities. 66.3% of South Africans' waste is removed once a week. 89% of municipal infrastructure grant is spent by all municipalities in South Africa. The ANC remains the only party that takes care of the poor and vulnerable through the indigent policies of municipalities. Poor communities are able to get 6K of free water, 5 kW hours of free electricity, subsidized refuse and sanitation removal, and discounted rebates on property rates and taxes. We acknowledge that local government is complex, and it is widely accepted that the sector is experiencing systematic, structural, and financial challenges. Our task has always been about intervening by developing complex solutions that ensure that no one is left behind. No other party has this experience. A vote for the ANC is a vote for building a better South Africa. When we come back after the 29 May, we'll ensure that our intervention programs continue to better the lives of all South Africans. We have ensured a universal and adequately funded basic income support grant. We, the ANC, recognize the significance of implementing a basic income support grant, also known as the Basic Income Grant, BIG, as a crucial step towards achieving social economic change in our country. We welcome the election cuts on Universal Basic Income Grant policy by the Universal Basic Income Grant Coalition, which ranks the ANC at the top out of 19 political parties assessed on their policy stance. According to the UBIC report, the ANC scored 8 out of 12 points. We firmly believe that the well-being and prosperity of all citizens should be at the heart of our progressive economic and social policies. We're encouraged by a recent independent study from the University of Johannesburg that confirms the majority of South Africans fully support the introduction of a basic income grant support. In line with the ANC policy resolutions and our 2024 manifesto, we commit to the following key principles and actions. We acknowledge that the current temporary social relief of distress, which is a 350 grant, should serve as the foundation for the transition to a permanent basic income grant as to address the exclusion of a large number of people. We will improve the value of the grant and extend it to reach more beneficiaries. We support a basic income grant that benefits all individuals without work-seeking conditions. This grant will alleviate poverty and hunger for all vulnerable people, including caregivers, the unemployed, and those in precarious employment. We recognize the need to progressively achieve an adequate basic income grant support grant based on the principle of universality. Our approach will ensure inclusivity and adequate value indexed to scientifically determined poverty and sustainable financing that promotes equitable redistribution. This will include gradually increasing the income threshold to include more individuals and indexing the grant's value to the minimum food poverty line, progressively moving towards the upper bound poverty line to effectively eliminate poverty in society. The ANC is committed to financing the basic income grant through progressive mechanisms to ensure financial sustainability and equitable redistribution. We will explore options such as new progressive tax measures including a social security tax, while maximizing physical space by effectively utilizing existing resources. The ANC is open to considering more diverse funding sources and a faster movement towards universality. The ANC recognizes that the basic income support should complement, not replace, existing social security mechanisms. We will ensure that it coexists with programs like the Child Support Grant and consider introducing measures to support caregivers, job seekers, and entrepreneurs. We firmly oppose the notion of replacing public services with basic income support grant. Instead, we view the grant as a complement to public services and will resist any trade-off between income support and the essential provisioning by the state. The ANC is committed to finalizing a comprehensive policy on the basic income support grant within 2 years of the new ANC administration, ensuring broad consultation and expedited action. We understand the urgency of providing certainty and coherence in this matter, addressing the challenges faced by the SRD grant and fulfilling our commitment to the well-being and prosperity of all South Africans. The ANC stands united in our mission to create a more equitable, just society, ensuring that every South African live with dignity and security. In conclusion, as we enter the final days of this campaign, we wish to express the appreciation of the ANC leadership to the many thousands of volunteers who walked the streets of this country and visited the homes of our people. We also again send our thanks to the millions of South Africans with whom we have spoken over the last few months, who have shown that they want to be part of building a better South Africa and that they intend to vote for the ANC on the 29th May. We appreciate the feedback we have received, which was honest and sincere in the different homes, whilst people commit to the ANC. But this election too was a social contract, consolidation between the ANC and the people of South Africa, informed by our slogan, let's do more together. Our people have given us marching orders. We have seen with our eyes, we have heard with our ears, we have exercised our minds that indeed our manifesto is sharp and correct in terms of improving further the lives of South Africans. And this we have seen in the practical of working on the ground, interacting with people and different sectors about the issues that they have raised. Whereas some of the issues that people have raised from electricity that has been attended to and the challenges of the transformers, the roads and all of that are matters that are informing our program of action. Top of the range in all the issues is jobs and jobs for our people and social security expansion, particularly for those who are sitting hopeless and constitute the biggest reserve of the unemployed and in our country. So we believe our manifesto is practical, is informed, it is achievable, and as we interact with the people and talk to the manifesto about their issues on the ground, they have responded and also given us additions on what are the things that needs to be expedited. Across the country, people said to us, let's do more together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade SG. At this point, I am going to invite questions from yourselves, colleagues, members of the media. Shall I start on my left? Power. Oh, there's a hand there. Yes, SABC.
How many people will be coming from other provinces to attend this Shazzy from Power FM News. Mine is just a technical question. So the Siyanqoba Rally is the culmination of the ANC's election campaign. Will the party continue to campaign post the Siyanqoba Rally after Saturday? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm keen to proceed. I'll go back to the left table.
Good morning. My name is Inteu. I'm with the SAPC. Secretary General, you said that you are impressed by the fact that steadily the ANC or people are showing interest in the ANC. But that can only be confirmed after the vote. Let's hypothesize for now. Let's say, should the ANC win the election according to the president, according to all the leaders, past and present? They told us the ANC will win elections. But let's hypothesize and for a moment say, if the ANC gives me it has never happened since 1994, even for the first time. Will you, as the Secretary General, together with the leadership connecting with the president, accept that you failed and, if possible, you need to step aside because you would have failed? Considering that the ANC since 1994, to the people of South Africa, it has been seen as a hope for the people of South Africa. But 8 years later, people are shunning the ANC. Would you consider that as a failure and an opportune moment to step aside?
Thank you very much, Ntebo. I will move to the right. Do I have any of the colleagues who wish to comment? Kaya?
Thank you so much. It's over the money times. SG, the ANC is planning to make better the 2058. I'm not sure when we engage during the ANC or when the subject was discussed. Is there perhaps an amount that was discussed to say that we're proposing to move from 20 to this amount? And then also the ANC is aware of the suffering of the people in the Western Cape and addressing the issues that they are facing. How different is the ANC planning to do this time in the Western Cape? Lastly, I'm confident that the ANC is coming back as chief. If you're comfortable, what percentage in your mind from you? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. My brother over there.
Good morning. Alpha Musha from Alpha Musha from Highway News. More of a personal question, Mr. SG. Yesterday we saw Alpha Forum announcing that it plans to privately prosecute you over your 2016 Dubai scandal. What do you make of the decision to bring it back? Thank you.
Thank you very much. This will be the final hand in the first round. I'm happy to go back again. Lunga?
Good afternoon. My name is Lona from the Main Guardian. Mine just goes to TA as well. I know that secretaries in other provinces, which that's the Bodo and Northwest, and I think they say they are aiming to get about 80% of the votes of the for the party. Here, how they secretary, what are you looking at? What numbers are your internal pollings, or what do you think you are going to be getting after the election? And lastly, the president commented, I think last week or early this week on Monday, that even if the ANC doesn't come, they still go, government is still going to run. So it's not going to be an issue if the ANC is gone and then there's not going to be any government. There's proper structures that can be government. I just want to hear your take on that, Mr. Chief. Thank you very much.
On what?
Okay. So the president is saying if the ANC doesn't win the election, does not mean that government is going to collapse. So I just want to hear your take on what the president is saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much. much. With your permission, SG, may I start with the Provincial Secretary to dispense with the questions pertaining to Gauteng? Comrade TK.
Thank you very much. Greetings to all of you. I think the first question was there are two questions directed to me. How did we turn the situation around? The first thing we did, immediately after we were elected as the Provincial Executive Committee, we went on the ground because it was after 2021 local government elections to understand what are the issues of our people. There are three fundamental issues that came out very strong. One was the issue of jobs, which he has spoken to. The second one was the issue of crime and of course, the issue of energy. 2.1 million of Gauteng people who had access to electricity did not have that electricity because of the transformers. What was our response was to immediately go into that space and make sure that we respond to it. And I can assure you that we are almost there, and Gauteng people can see the efforts that the provincial government is making. There are many, many transformers that have been installed across the province. Even this week, we are very sure that many of them, or some of them, will go out, especially in areas like Soweto, Ekurhuleni, and those areas. 2.1 million households is just too much. It's one of the things we did. We then responded to the issue of jobs. We came with a program called Nasispan, which is really touching the lives of our people in the province. And it is well received. You can also see that many young people, and also we said this issue of people only getting jobs, you must be at least under the age of 35. It's not assisting us. So a number of people are really finding expression, and Gauteng people are really happy with that. And of course, we came with a program, Yamapanya Panya, which some are saying they're going to remove immediately they come into power. It means they will take almost 12,000 young people to the streets. And we don't believe that we should play with our people's lives. So I'm saying that we are focusing on those three areas, outside of the fact that we are making sure that the ANC is on the ground and is active, and it's engaging our people on a daily basis. And I believe we will get plus minus 55% as this ANC in the province. We're doing a lot of work. And we understand that it's on service delivery where you would really touch the lives of our people. You cannot only do it by doing slogans. And we went to length and breadth of our province, and you will see even on Saturday, and I'm sure the SG will talk to it. Our focus is to make sure that we fill the stadium on our own as Gauteng, and it's going to happen. Thank you very much, Comrade SG.
Thank you very much. I'm hoping that there's a sound issue. May I request that we sort out the sound issue? Okay, no, that's fine then. Oh, at this point, I'll then ask the SG to respond.
Thank you very much, Samkelo, starting with Samkelo. People will be transported from the length and breadth of this province. We have filled FNP before with Gauteng only. We have had build-up Siyanqoba rallies, community meetings, door to door. So Siyanqoba, always we come to the Calabash. So we told you in January that we will go to Mbombela, from Mbombela to Moses Mapida, from Moses Mapida to FNP. That's where we will come for Siyanqoba Rally. Now, what is interesting is that they've been following us wherever we go, but they are not prepared to follow us to FNP on Sunday. Anyone to come to FNP, the Calabash, but they've been following us. We went to Moses Mabhida, there were many political parties there at Moses Mabhida. Others did not succeed. Well, we do empathize. But we're at FNP now. We're alone. Nobody's coming. Subati and so our other provinces will come nearby because they have not had Siyanqobas, so they will come, but it's not a big number. But in the main, the people like TK have explained, the provincial secretary, the people will come from Gauteng province, and the Siyanqoba Rally will be broadcast live for all South Africans who will not be at the stadium. And the main message will be delivered by the president. So we start on Friday. On Friday, tomorrow night, we have a pre-Siyanqoba engagement with the president of the ANC. He will talk and make his reflections on the campaign and what we have learned from the campaign and what we have achieved. We will campaign till the end within the principles of the law and not do things that are unlawful. Campaigning won't stop on Saturday. We will continue to campaign, prepare ourselves for the election day. And I think that's what we will be doing. Are we going to curtail cabinet? Our commitment is that we are going to reconfigure things, and then it will be discussed by the National Executive Committee immediately after the campaign. There's been a discussion on this matter. It will be processed. There's always been a commitment to reduce cabinet from where it is, and that matter will be considered by the organization. The National Conference of the ANC have given us a mandate to reconfigure government based on the experience we've had. You know, we have been talking about alignment of policy ministries and all of that. All that discussion will come. Remember, the National Conference said certain entities must go elsewhere and all of that. That discussion is a discussion and a mandate of the National Conference, and will be processed accordingly. Gentlemen, don't come to the press conference and disrespect the journalist here. Please write about him. He's making noise. Look at him at the back. Susmosha mntu wase FNP. Siqashile apha mfondini. Siphathele. Mafiki ngos-disrupt. Please. The issue of the research, I mean, we've been bombarded with the research since we started the campaign. And we fought hard with on the ground, mobilizing and talking to our people. But the research, like we said in the past, that research has never been kind to the ANC over the years. And we have never fought with research as a party. And because we march, we talk to our people, to us, victory is not a given. We've got to talk to the people. And that is why voter contact, engaging people, asking them to vote for the ANC. It's not a given. And beyond asking them, convince them with the manifesto, what are they voting for? And also use the opportunity of the campaign to get the feedback from the masses. Because it's also an opportunity. Also, you know, to be told of the wrong things, and to accept where we have gone wrong and apologize, demonstrate through action, which is what we have done, using our incumbency, that we are committed to changing things for the better. And we have given that full account. That account was given by census. It was suppressed in the public discourse that the ANC government has done well. Not us, census. But none of our detractors wanted to punt that story, because the story must be the ANC has failed. But census conducted in this country said life was better after 1994 and not the same. And our people, as we campaign, they agree and they say, but here are the challenges that you still need to address. Census was thrown out of the window, suppressed thoroughly, and never entertained. As we get into this campaign, we knew that the ANC did well for the people of South Africa, and they will continue to do so. And our manifesto was carefully crafted, not to be a populist document, but based on practical that we are going to do. And you can check them. Fact check, and everybody have said ANC commitments are achievable on the manifesto. 2.5 million jobs, not jobs, job opportunities is achievable. Industrialization has got to be unleashed as the main tool of transforming the economy, but at the same time creating jobs, massive jobs for South Africans. So we've never fought with the research, because there have been polls after polls, week after week, that the ANC will drop and all of that. Now they've changed their story. We have never been there, nor issued a statement to challenge them. Even those that are questionable, that come from politically aligned research groups in the country, we have never questioned them. And we have run a clean campaign. You can attest to that. We didn't ban flag. We didn't swear at people. We engaged on issues. And everything has been thrown at us. We are the incumbent who have understood that we are to be blamed for everything. And therefore, we need to get down and talk to the people. And we are doing it as I speak to you right now, everywhere in this country. We're talking to our people, we're engaging them, we're asking them to vote for the African National Congress. Power FM, we will continue to campaign beyond Saturday, like I said. Continue to campaign beyond Saturday. Campaigning is through different means beyond Saturday, and you will see it, but within the prescripts of the law. So we will not do anything that is unlawful, that will undermine our standing in terms of the Electoral Act, and at the same time risk to be qualified. We've got posters, banners everywhere in this country. We started late, but somehow it was deliberate, because we knew that this campaign was going to be 3 months. And then people made a lot of noise about money and all of that, as though they have money. So, and we know who got money from who and all of that. It has never been an issue for us. So we knew when we are going to take off, and then when we did, it is becoming very difficult, because the strength of the ANC is its mass-based approach and the groundwork that we do. So we knew that to pull through a campaign where we work hard and nothing is a given, victory and so on. We work for victory. Ntebu, will we step aside? That question is very, very mischievous, my brother, and very provocative coming from you. But knowing you, I'm not patronizing you. You are a man of such questions. Let me say, Ntebu, that to answer your question, you don't resign because you have not done well. You actually stay on, give a report, make a reflection. Where did things go wrong? Didn't we campaign well and all of that? Or whatever that is the case. And then we are not a party that opens and closes. We've got processes. That evaluation will be done by the membership of the ANC, and they will conclude on it in their various conferences that we don't re-elect you because you did not do well. And it will be based on empirical evidence. So we were not elected to step aside. You step aside because of a policy of the party in relation to how it affects an individual. So in this case, after the election, we will meet, make a reflection, and then that reflection will be informed by the outcome of the election, how we have fared. And that is it with regard to your question. But we are confident that we will register decisive victory in the election, as we we have said. I know the question was asked about percentages. We have never worked for 50% or a 2/3 majority. We work for decisive victory. The right to govern and to govern decisively, to constitute government without coalition. That's what we're working for. What informs that is because we have work to do. And that work is in the manifesto. And that work needs to be carried over and over through a decisive majority. Coalitions have not worked for South Africa. We have seen here in Johannesburg, we have seen in Port Elizabeth, we have seen in eThekwini, in Ekurhuleni, everywhere we've got coalitions, they have not worked. Coalitions are an outcome of an election where people either don't come out in their numbers or you register low percentages. And by the way, we did register below 50%, which is the last election. And that made you guys to talk too much. 46% we got. And you forgot that we had to conduct a campaign within by instruction of the Constitutional Court. And we had to vote on a Monday. Okay? And the ANC in that campaign, we had a lot of queries about public representative, councillors, and all of that. But still, under those difficulties, we registered 46%. They could not obliterate us politically. That shows the determination. Even our opponents did not gain. Like they talk, and then they say, you know, ANC dropped below 46% as though they gained the numbers. People stayed at home. They did not come to vote. They did not go to the opposition. If they went to the opposition, then the opposition will be governing. It did not happen. They dropped. Western Cape registered the highest number of hung municipalities. That was a campaign we conducted under COVID. Under COVID, for a month, we got 46% ANC. We got over and above 10 million votes, and we got over and above 6 million votes in a low voter turnout in the last election. 6 million people voted for the African National Congress. And that's what happened in that election. We got for the first time below 50%. And we were coming from recovery. Okay? That recovery was a recovery from 54%. And then we got 57%. And then we went to 46%, which we dropped. Now we are in this election. We will see where we will go in terms of this election. But we are fighting for a decisive victory for the African National Congress. Kaya, the 350 change, we are saying we will improve and not replace what it is there. And then we introduce basic income grant. And we explain it thoroughly, what is it. And it has been in the pipeline for years. Now, this is time for transformation and doing things. You can see with NHI, in the last election, we said NHI. In election before that, NHI. People are talking about the signing of the NHI as though we are doing something new. And they know they've held up this NHI through courts and stopping and all that, but we managed to get to this point. And now NHI has been itself on the subjected to what you call project management people. Before you launch a project, what do? Pilot. Well-educated Sabelo piloted. NHI was piloted in this country. We were all there. So we know the pitfalls. We will implement it like the president has said in a phased approach. But we have arrived now. This is what people vote for when they vote for the ANC. They want equality. This country is uneven and unequal. And therefore, we move from the premise that we are fighting for equality in South Africa, and it is policies like those that the ANC implement and why people vote for us. What percentage? We don't put percentage. We're fighting for decisive victory. There are people there who are very much who are very much keen to the issue of two-thirds majority. We got two-thirds majority in the last election when President Mbeki was president because we worked. We didn't say we will get it. If in this election the percentage becomes two-thirds or whatever, it will be a reflection of the people's confidence in the African National Congress. And that our message indeed has gone and people have understood and they are coming in their numbers to actually vote. So it's not something you pronounce, it's what you work for. And it's not a given. But we work for overwhelming victory. Now, lastly, we don't campaign. You know, I've seen people attacking in our campaign the involvement of elders of the ANC. And as Bapainelwa Indoni or JJ. You see, because when you have not resigned from the party can use you anytime. The ANC believe in dissent. How many things I've said as a young person that probably you will say I'm a flip-flopper today and all of that. Because at any given point in time, you are allowed in our movement to express your views. To express your views, including saying maybe the ANC needs to lose power and then come back. It doesn't mean you are not a genuine member of the ANC. You're genuine. But you express a view because it's debatable. And why do I say that? We believe in a school of thought where we debate issues scientifically and why things are set in that particular manner. So you can attack ANC leaders because at a given time they said different things and all of that. They are members of the ANC. They never left the ANC. They have dissent and they can criticize the leadership. And their displeasure about certain things that are happening in the organization to make the leadership move. But it doesn't mean that they have stood in a podium and wrote a letter from a hotel or their houses that I've resigned from the ANC. And when they come and campaign, they campaign for their party because they have seen that, no, man, if you take out the ANC, the transformational agenda will be reversed. There is no alternative to the ANC. And therefore, the transformational agenda must succeed. And that is what these elders are about. And I don't understand what makes people to feel pain about ANC members, old and young, campaigning for the organization. There are many things that ANC members have said recently, and the genuine ANC members, correctly so. So when they campaign and tell people vote ANC, it is the correct vehicle to liberate you. You want to say they shouldn't because they said something. It was not anti-ANC, it was deepening the ideological understanding of how things must be done and what the ANC must do to renew itself. You know, that's the nicest thing about the ANC. That you can have dissent and people expressing themselves. That is why others liken the ANC to a church, a broad church. We don't think alike. Ideologically, others believe in socialism, others are hardcore capitalists. Which other party have you actually seen that coexist, multi-ideological, like the African National Congress? And that's what has kept our organization together over the years. So there's nothing wrong. Bayapainelwa because they thought we are on our own. We are a party of elders. As we ascend to leadership positions and all of that, we are not on our own. We are guided by our elders. That's why from time to time you get called Mbalula. You don't do that in the ANC because our elders are there. They are watching. Others are no more. We are a party of ancestors. Mukhatlo wa mudimu libadimu. We were born in the church. And that's who we are. And we must accept that role. We must even accept criticism that comes from our own, which is unpalatable. And it doesn't mean what they said, they don't believe in it. But contesting power comes once. And if the ANC is no more, they know the African revolution is doomed. And the National Democratic Revolution is doomed. And that's what we're defending here. And lastly, EWN, I don't know whether I should answer you. You should ask me that question. And there is no scandal. It has been proven that there is no. And that matter has been subjected to investigation, and there was a public pronouncement on it. Now, if some over-enthusiastic braggarts of the law think that they can get something out of it, let them proceed with it. And that's it. But we also examine our rights, because you've got no right to blemish in South Africa in terms of the law and subject people to a kangaroo, which it has never been proven in any court that this person has done something wrong. So we've got rights in terms of the law. AfriForum must know that. We are not scared of them, right? And if they stand for something good, let them stand for it. But we've got rights. Nobody can stand in a podium and say the SG of the ANC have done something wrong, and there is no court that have adjudicated and passed judgment on it. And all processes have actually been informed. I've never run away from anything. I've been here and all of that. But somebody has got the right to write nonsense and say that this and that has actually happened without any glimpse of evidence. And because they think they've got a right to do it. And then they use platforms, EWN, News 24, and all of that. You converge there. You came only here for that question. You are just derailing me from a very important press conference about the ANC. You should have called me and then on the side and asked me, because it's a personal matter. You did say that. But undikupe sporweni nje deliberately ngento engekhoyo andibanjwanga akwanzanga nto uza apha nje uthunyiwe mntakwethu wena ukuthi mbuze la, because we must be subjected to something, you know, out of this particular press conference. I'm not running away. Digumele okoko na bhala lanto no Bateman izolo. Danimel anindifonelanga nindilinda xa di campaign. Hey, Mbalula, you know my numbers. You don't call me. You don't send questions to me. Nindilinda up. Nizondikupe sporeni, and then ndiphendule into engekhoyo engabambekiyo andibanjwanga. They're just making allegations based on something that they got and all of that. And then nizakum, because nicinga bafana nibambe big fish. Ayibanjwa njalo ki big fish, ibanjwa ngomthetho. Ubani ayifuna. And there's no law in this country that said I've got a scandal that I've made, and I've accounted fully to the public protector. After that accountability subjected me to law enforcement to check. So I'm not law enforcement. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I assume we're almost done, and I'm just going to take about 2 questions. Go back to SABC, and my brother over there, and you'll be the last one. As succinct as possible, please.
Samuel once again with the SABC. My question is directed to how many people are you bringing as Gautengers? One would assume that you are going into an election where many are predicting that you will lose the economic cup outright. How many people are you going to be bringing in as a province of Gauteng to this particular Siyanqoba Rally, noting what the SG has said as well, that surrounding provinces, Free State, Limpopo, Northwest, Mpumalanga will be supporting you, but it will be anchored around Gauteng. How many are you bringing as Gauteng? Thank you.
Go at the back.
Thank you. I'm Howard Mawale from UFM. SG, on this issue of a grant, I know that for years, SALTU has been lobbying the ANC for a basic income grant, even advocating for it publicly. Why now? Why should circulating on social media, SG, of John Mpe, the regional chairperson of Peter Mkawa in Limpopo, where he appears to be wielding a gun. It seems to be a fracas where ANC campaigners were insisting on accessing a place called Jujubile outside Polokwane, and there was a pushback there, and a child was shot. Are you aware of that incident? What is your comment, particularly on the whole mayor and regional chairperson appearing to be holding a gun in public in a situation like that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will end off. Lunga.
SG, I just wanted to ask you to answer that question about your sentiments on what the president said. Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. We are done, so we are going to hand over to the SG. SG.
Thank you. Can you help me? Thanks. Sure.
No, thank you very much. How many people will be coming from Gauteng? We were told to fill the stadium. We are filling the stadium on our own. And we are bringing voters who are registered. Every bus that is coming and every person who's coming here through Gauteng is a voter, is a registered voter. We are very confident of that. There's a march which we will lead from Soweto, from Deep Kloof. We want to show you what people of Soweto are saying about the African National Congress. It's their home, and we want them to fill the stadium. Coming from other provinces, the leadership would know better. So we're filling the stadium on our own, comrade, or Samkele. So used to talk comrades. So that's and we don't even have a fear of that. But our preoccupation is not filling up the stadium, is to win the elections, so that we defend the people's movement and we defend the African agenda. Thank you very much.
I think I'm not going to respond on the negative side because you are there to judge. There are people who try to drive us into a negative. Like I said, we have run a clean campaign, and for all of you to see. We've run a clean campaign. We did not attack anyone personally, attack any of our opponents personally. We ran a clean campaign. We respected our opponents and we respected them. But where they err and distort issues, we have engaged. We have attended public platforms, some very hostile, but we accept that nobody wants to make us a favor. We must use a superior logic to persuade people in terms of ideas, not through rebel arousing. So ANC members, leaders have been to engage and to be engaged. From the front as the campaign and to engage with the media, robust. And the last engagement was with Prime Media, and he's going to also talk to others. Ask any question. The president has been available to respond to that. Sometimes there are clashes because the time is too short. We are unable to do 100 things at a go. So that's why we are on the ground. We address about 3 rallies, 4, 5 a day. And as I live here, I'm going to West Rand to campaign. Comrades are all over. The leadership is everywhere. So that shows the determination of people who are not arrogant, who are not taking it as a given that South Africa will vote for you. It's not a given. There are people who teared our posters and we have taken them on. In terms of the law, they have appeared in court. There's an old man who was very arrogant and so on. He's facing charges. He's in court. There are people who have stolen our properties like MK. We took them on, we lost. We have appealed that case in terms of the trademark issue. Helen Zille, we have taken her on in terms of ravishing our message. We have complained about her to the IEC. On the matter, I've seen already on Twitter, she was saying she's not a candidate. She doesn't account to anybody. She just went on and on. That's desperation, okay? That's desperation from to be so desperate, because it's got to use logic to persuade voters to vote for the DA. But nonetheless, gun toting matters of John Bear, we need to get a full report on that matter. I saw it, what happened. But violent acts are not welcome in the campaign. But there are spontaneous activities, heated arguments on the ground. We have signed a code of conduct and so on, but we will have to get to the facts of what happened on the ground there at Jujuville and so on. So we will get the facts about that from our comrades in Limpopo. Lunga, the ANC government is always ready for succession because you've got a public service that is loyal to the state, not loyal to the party per se, and that is ready at all times. The matters of transition. So South Africa is not a stateless country. We are not, what is this thing? A weak state, our state is very strong, so there will be no problem with regard to that. Changes happen if they happen, and that's it. And I don't want to venture into that because it won't happen. We'll still be in charge in the next election, given the work that we have done on the ground. So the president was addressing the principle, and I don't want even to second guess him. He addressed the principle as a head of state and government. He has seen transitions over time, so we've never had a challenge. When I become a minister in government, I get to be given what is a package of a minister by the state, a car, bodyguards, and all of that. And then you inherit what is there in terms of the package. So the state flows. You don't serve a party when you're a civil servant. You serve the people and the state. So South Africa has created a very strong state under the leadership of the ANC government from 1994. President Mbeki says when they arrive in government, they only found a room and an office, actually, and a desk with nothing. So they had to navigate. So we had to navigate and create a very strong state to ensure that South Africa is governed and governed well. So that's what will happen. So President was correct. Thank you.
I am closing. What is the